Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports.
Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State and the very mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. This one taken from the 7th. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Here we go now. Blue 45.
Mahomes now on 1st down. And his first look is incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. On play action, it's Mahomes. Looking outside, and he's got a man. That's Knight. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A very solid gain of 27.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. And now a fumble. The ball's out. But the Redskins look to get this one back, and indeed they did. It's still Washington football. And the defense not able to get it. From a defensive perspective, what's that moment like?
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Kalen Ballage, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Redskins take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. A nice run by him, don't get me wrong, but the blocking up front was a thing of beauty.
I think for an opening drive, how about that for an exclamation point? Just what you said. Good blocking, good vision, and he accelerated to the end zone.
So that drive, 4 plays. And the finishing touch was that nice long run into the end zone. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Darius Geis, his first carry of the game. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Davis now. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Golladay. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. The quick slant, good for 8 and a first. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Off the play fake. Davis. Swipe, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Davis now. Off play action. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. They'll start with a give here to Balaj. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a 1st down. His first carry of their 2nd drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their 1st drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurtling through them.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Ready, green, 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
To throw, it's Mahomes. And it's complete. Hooper. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a 1st down as well.
They brought in a heavy set on 3rd down, and that usually means running play. But we have seen them throw out of that formation. And sure enough, they snuck the tight end out on that one. Wound up hitting him for a 1st down.
Now Balaj. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Telvin Smith that time there to make the play.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Ready, green, 90. Green, 90.
Mahomes to throw on 2nd down. It's caught over the middle. Hooper. And they just keep marching right along. 1st down on a pickup of 8 there.
Many different ways to create space.
Now out of the gun. Down to the 30 after a
hold up because what they're hoping, those big defensive lines.
They fake the give. Now Mahomes. He sets to fire deep. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position. Couldn't hold on. 3rd down.
In this situation, it's really tough to figure out. Going for the end zone, retreat, and make sure you have a way to play forward. Back towards the receiver, and have a chance to bat the ball away as they did there.
A gain of 8 and a 1st down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
A good pick up there of 20 yards. You know, he's already thrown for more yardage in this 1st quarter than he did all of last week.
And I could be snarky here and say, well, he didn't throw for a lot of yards last week. But the bottom line is he put in a great week of practice and really came out ready to go in this one.
This is intercepted. Snags it for the pick. He's at the 50, the 30, 20, 10, and he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Cowboy defense has a touchdown. Those free safeties, they get to sit back there if they've got good pass rushers like this team does. Read like a book. He read it like a book and took it in for 6.
And if they use their eyes well and their anticipation skills, they can make big plays. Safety's dream. Follow the football, go to it, and take it the other way.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This one taken from the 7. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Belange, and he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Tackle there by Leighton Vander Esch.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And before they can get settled in here, time expires on the first quarter of action. 7-all is the score. We're back to Arlington in just a moment. Back live, Charles Davis to my right. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Redskin football to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 2nd down and 8 to start things out.
Here we go. Blue 45. Blue 45.
They go play action. Now Mahomes. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. His first catch, good for 16 and a first.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Mahomes now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10. From midfield, here's Mahomes. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a 2nd one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down.
Blue 45. Blue 45.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. So it's 3rd and long, and defensively not a real surprise. They're in the dime.
Here we go. Blue 45.
Working from the gun, Mahomes. Over the middle, complete. That's Knight. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And a big 32-yard play on 3rd.
Usually hitting a deep post pattern, as we just saw there for a big gainer, that's tough to do because you usually have a safety or two in the middle of the field. But if you hit enough crossers and underneath routes and curls, you start to get those guys creeping up wanting to make plays on the football. It's the equivalent of a changeup in baseball. You show your other stuff, throw the changeup, and on that play it worked for big yardage.
Blue 45.
They run it with Balazs. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. A gain of 3, second down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Here we go now. Blue 45.
On second down, here's Mahomes. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Mahomes now to throw. And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
So the missed field goal, and now they're in great shape. They'll start at the 38. They start on the ground with Geis. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Tackled there by Monte Nicholson.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Looking to throw. Davis rolling to his right. And his throw here's incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Here's Davis on third down. Throw left side complete. That's Saunders. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on third down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. And a nice gain of 21 yards. That tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point that continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
On first down, this is Geis. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Now let's go. Green 39.
Now Davis to throw on second down. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19.
But that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
2 minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. We're back to Arlington right after this timeout. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. Oh, it's a touchdown if he holds on. Instead, it's fourth down.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's fourth down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5.
Here we go now.
Davis from the gun, he'll throw. And this time he's got the hookup. It's complete. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Some collective exhales over there on the sideline. A big pickup through the air on 4th down to bring up 1st and goal.
Well, the field goal attempt was well in hand. They had that, but they decided to go for it anyway. Extreme confidence, it looks like.
Yeah, but I bet the defense is going to remember this one, right? They kind of rubbed their nose in it. Geis, they'll try to run it. And he'll get it down close to the goal line, but not quite in. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
On the ground, Geis. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Davis now. Gonna throw on 3rd and goal. That's to his running back, complete. And now we're going to get a timeout called by the Redskin defense, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. They converted once earlier on this opening drive, but now comes a big test. 4th and goal. They'll run for it. Geis. And this winds up a disaster. Nowhere near the marker. They stop him on 4th and goal at the 3. And the Redskins are able to come up with a goal line stand. A chance to get some momentum here in the 2nd quarter, getting their first trip into the red zone, but unable to get it across.
And if I'm the head coach, sure, you feel some disappointment, maybe a little bit of deflation there because you didn't get it in, but I'm going straight to rah-rah mode. All right, guys, we didn't get it this time. It's only the 2nd quarter. We'll be back. Let's get it later on. I want to keep this team up. I want them to feel like they've let everyone down.
Positive.
Got to be positive in this situation. It's too early to think that you don't have a chance to win this game.
So a touchdown apiece. That's what we have to show at halftime as they head to the locker room. 7-7 our score. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll begin with the big game of the weekend, the Super Bowl 52 rematch between Philadelphia and New England. And it's the Eagles who are out in front. Alshon Jeffrey, a touchdown reception. From there, let's head over to Minneapolis to check on the Vikings at home.
All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. Set and ready to go for the 2nd half. 1 touchdown apiece, 7-7 our score. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this 2nd half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care of it.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Jared Davis able to get in there and drop him for a 2-yard loss.
We are seeing 2 really confident defenses imposing their will on these offenses in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, going toe for toe. Just curious if one of these offenses can wake up a little bit.
Is there any way they can find something that can pop, something big to knock them back on their heels?
Back to throw. Davis. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Well, pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Off play action. Davis. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. A good pickup there at 22.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Looking to throw. Davis got his man complete over the middle. It's Burton. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
This quarterback now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT in the game. Instead, second down. And as a first-rounder, a lot of eyes on him, a lot of expectations.
And he has to play well in his rookie year. Those days of coddling guys and bringing them along slowly, those days are long gone. When you're drafted in the first round, they expect you to play right away. In the community's eyes and fan base, they'll be on you the entire way.
They added a lot of time. And they'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A great effort there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Cowboys are in for 6. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. This one taken from the 7. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So here's the Redskins offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
There we go. Green.
Again, it's Balaj. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Green 90. Green 90.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It goes for a gain of 10, and it's a first down. They'll run here with Balaj. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at him turn.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. From the gun, it's Mahomes. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. 18 yards there and a 1st down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 right at the 40.
Here we go.
They go play fake. Mahomes. And his throw is incomplete. Coverage there by Von Bell.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock Dalvin away and bring up 2nd down.
So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40.
Here we go now.
Mahomes again here on 2nd and 10. And he gets us down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
Mahomes to throw once more. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a 3rd down stop by them.
And Bailey able to knock it through. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So a decent drive there to start the 3rd quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they inch a bit closer.
Yeah, but still lots of time to go in this one. That's why you hear that clapping on the sidelines, right? Hey, got some points. As you said, inching their way back in. Time left to go out and get that victory.
Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. How do you break down his game so far? Just the 1 touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. Not until you balance it with the error side, you know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game, but that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. Back to throw. Davis. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Looking to throw. Davis. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have back on their heels.
So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. And out will come the offense as they take over. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone. And now he's just trying to do it for a 2nd time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage. And, again, that 2nd score here in the 3rd quarter.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Ready. Green 90. Green 90.
Back now in Arlington. It's the Redskins with the football, but trailing here as we get down to the good stuff. Quarter number 4.
Here we go. Green 90. Green.
Now Mahomes throwing on second down. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. The linebacker, Telvin Smith, able to get a hand on it there.
Well, partner, so much for the mismatch. How about the guy at the second level, that big linebacker, able to run with the receiver and make a play on the football?
The Redskins on third down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. Give him 30 yards there.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
Oh, nearly a disaster there on the check down. But they'll get it back.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
And he will go down. A Cowboys sack.
But nothing takes a start to have a good drive quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Ready. Blue 45.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. On the catch, it's Crowder. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 13, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And after a rough start, as we take a peek at the numbers, he's going in the right direction now.
So often when you see a game start the way we saw this one start for him, you just wonder if he's got a chance to bring it back at all, and that's exactly what he's done. Love seeing that happen simply because you know a guy has struggled, and now he's found a way to make things better. That's pretty good stuff right there. I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. He'll buy some time right. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. He got 29 yards that time. Well, I'm sure he likes his performance a little bit better than last week. He had the 3 interceptions here, none in the 4th quarter, and he's got his guys in front.
Guaranteed he put in a tremendous amount of work this week, but maybe the matchup is just better for him. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. It's almost like those golfers. Certain courses fit their eye, and they like what they see, and other courses, as soon as they tee it up, they know they have no shot. Maybe that's the difference for him. Last week, no. This week, a big yes.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
No, check. Patriot.
Here's Davis off the bootleg. Eluding the pressure right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Matt Ioannidis able to collapse the pocket and drop him for a loss of a yard. And for the defense, their 3rd sack of the game.
That number tells you that they're starting to put it together with their defensive game plan. They're starting to feel pretty good about what the offense is doing, bringing the pressure at the right time, and putting the quarterback on the ground.
Back to throw. Davis. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
There we go now.
On 1st down, Mahomes. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down.
There we go now. Green 90. Green 90.
Malage. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give them a new set of downs.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
There we go now. Green 90.
Mahomes now on 1st down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I know I spend a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Well, they were unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Now Mahomes. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down.
There we go. Blue 45. Blue 45.
And again, it's Mahomes. Over the middle, complete. That's Knight. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. He has a 1st down, and that catch will also put him over 100 yards receiving now on the afternoon. Mahomes will bring him up 1st and 10, and he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. And they'll run it here. And he'll at least get him inside the red zone here, down to about the 19. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Back to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. It's a gain of 5. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. He'll look to throw. That's complete right around the 8. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He's back to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. Mike Gillislee, his second touchdown on the season. And the Redskins have taken the lead here in the fourth quarter.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but not. You got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence.
But he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. And we've reached the 1-minute mark in this game. Back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And in the second quarter, he may very well run by him. But in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
They'll look to throw. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up fourth down. He was unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark, really, start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on fourth down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Flush to his right. Now a desperate. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. How about the call to come with a blitz there in this situation?
And some of those calls happen just because of what they do on offense. So when they send out a number of people in the pattern, sometimes they just make a change on defense. Say, okay, we'll come after you instead. And that's exactly what they did.
To the right and complete to Galladay. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 23 yards on the play. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's got it. It's caught for a touchdown. And they have taken the lead here in the final seconds.
So for those of little faith, guess what? It got done. They now have the lead with that touchdown this late in the contest. I wonder if that was a play they were holding or a play that they just knew would work from past experience.
Well, I just saw it in their eyes on the sideline before starting that last drive, and they did. You're right. They got it done. Looks like they're going to be the winners. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Here we go now. Blue 45.
Back to throw. Mahomes. He's going to let it fly. And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed it. Instead, second down. So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you've got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals after a catch. Just got to be prepared, stay on your feet defensively, and tackle someone.
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Von Bell. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Well, we were on hand for a fun and entertaining game here, coming down really to that last play. Great job defensively to get the pick and seal it.
And we know that every play during a game matters. You're never sure which one's going to be one of the key ones. But at the end of the game, when you analyze it, 3, 4, 5 plays are going to be the ones you focus on. And that last play was one of them. The last shot had to take it, and they came up with the interception and sealed their victory.
So for Dallas, they at least get the win here to earn a split of their first 2 home games. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, for Washington, they'll drop to 0-2, and they'll try again next week at home against New England. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.
you.